Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast. Did you know that plants are truly amazing? Not only can you grow them and eat them, you can also wear them, drink them, nourish your skin with them, and so much more. Let Ellen and Michael inspire you to love plants as much as they do, as they chat with the movers and shakers in this wonderful plant-based world. So, let's dig in.
Brought to you with Lava Light. Whether you're a novice gardener, specialist grower, or houseplant enthusiast, Lava Light can help you to nourish and protect your plants all year round. The collection comprises 8 different horticultural growing media and pest control products, each continually offering the same natural benefits from thermal protection and moisture retention to soil conditioning and continued nutrient boosts. Derived from volcanic deposits, Lava Light is completely natural and sustainable. Look out for it online or in your local gardening stores. Welcome to the Plant-Based Podcast News,
your horticultural news roundup for the week.
Now, mushrooms aren't known for their ornamental value, but Dr. Jazzy Dracula thinks they're a thing of beauty. In the UK, there are thought to be 25,000 species of fungi, 5 to 6 times more than of plants. We don't actually have names for most of the fungi that exist, so you can't protect what you don't know about, said Dr. Jazzy. With fungi, we're really playing catch-up, trying to study what we have. An estimated 2 million fungal species, more than 90% of all fungi, have yet to be described by science, and scientists are trying to identify the biodiversity hotspots as we speak.
A new study shows that people who work in community gardens receive various health benefits that may help reduce the risk of chronic diseases like cancer and can improve mental health. The randomized controlled trial involved 145 people who never gardened before, and it tracked their physical and mental health well-being during and after a growing season. The participants consumed more fibre, got more exercise, and felt more connected and less anxious as a result of their community gardening experience.
Scotland's first platinum woods have announced a scheme that is now extended till March. The new 70-acre woodlands commemorating the life of Queen Elizabeth II have now been created at Trackware in the Borders and at Glen Killerley in Speyside. Landowners now have until the end of March 2023 to come forward and create further 70-acre woods as part of the Queen's Green Canopy, which is a unique tree planting initiative which invited people across the UK to plant a tree for the Jubilee.
Where have you been if you haven't seen Kevin, founder and CEO of Epic Gardening online? He is everywhere. Recently, Kevin announced that Epic Gardening has acquired Botanical Interests, the Broomfield, Colorado-based vegetable, herb and flower seed packet company. The addition of Botanical Interests expands Epic Gardening's reach into the wholesale market via partnership and existing Botanical Interest store partners and sales reps. The Botanical Interest brand, its Colorado headquarters, and all employees will be retained as part of the transaction.
Now, turning Blue Monday green, 66% of people want to see more green in urban environments. Now, it's past now, but on the day, it wasn't that easy. On the 16th of January was Blue Monday. It was dubbed the most depressing day of the year, but city dwellers have claimed a lack of greenery in their area is also giving them the blues. 79% said they enjoy living in an urban place thanks to the convenience, career opportunities and social life, yet the research found that over 2/3 would actually consider moving to a greener suburb or the countryside as long as they could enjoy nature a lot more. Those looking to move want cleaner air, 40%, a calmer life, 39%, and more space, 34%. And of course, being able to get outside more is the key.
One of the UK's most invasive weeds, the Japanese knotweed, may have met its match. Japanese knotweed was brought to the UK by Victorians to plant along the side of rail lines. But as you know, it's become one of the most invasive plants and it can damage walls and even draining systems. And it has done already of around 1.5 million homes. But British startup Rootwave have devised something called the thermoelectric device, which zaps the invasive plant right at the roots. But beware, it will cost you about £3,000. Hi, it's me, Ellen Mary. I'm here to tell you all about people, plants, well-being, where you can find your magic through the power of plants and nature. We have a well-being retreat coming up on the 21st to the 23rd of April. It's in Norfolk in the UK, and it's all about reconnecting, resetting, and rejuvenating yourself through immersive nature experiences. There's going to be guided walks, there's going to be foraging talks and walks, bathing under the stars, evening time walks, mindful gardening sessions, plants and crafts, plant-based foods. Everyone's going to feed off the amazing group energy, and it's all set in private woodland. It is going to be epic. You can even get a massage, you can opt in for a Reiki session or hypnotherapy as well. So check it out, peopleplantswellbeing.com, click on Wellbeing Retreats, and you'll find all the information you need to join us on the Wild Wellbeing Retreat.
Good morning, Michael Perry.
Hiya. Do you want to be in my Be Real? Are you doing Be Real? It's what all the kids are doing.
What's a Be Real?
I don't know what Be Real is.
I've seen that. Yeah. Well, you basically just said it's what all the kids are doing, and I don't feel like a kid anymore.
Well, I find it really boring. I find it really boring because it is actually really boring, and it's supposed to be like the real part of your day and kind of like to get away with all the kind of glossy side of social media. But Ellen, I have to admit, I like social media for its glossy side. Do you know what I mean? I'm not even ashamed of that. I don't want to see bad pictures. I don't want to see kind of behind the scenes. I just want to see the gloss. Do you feel the same?
I feel like there's a balance. I don't want to see people's dirty laundry and horrible photos.
Like,
I love going.
I know what I'm there for. I know what I'm there to see. And I know that this is a showcase. You know, like I'm not stupid. Like social media is the gloss of life. But why shouldn't we indulge in it and just enjoy it and just be like, oh, okay.
I think that we can because we have like that balanced view. And I think the only issue is when everything's glossy and perfect, the younger generation who haven't grown up with anything other then assume that life is like that in general, and it's not. Do you know what I mean? So I get why there would be some real life stuff going on there just to get that balance. So. But for me, I love the gloss and all the prettiness.
But you know, like in the old days, like when we were kids, we would have watched TV programs and we would have fallen into the trap of thinking that life was like we saw on the TV, you know? So I don't know.
I remember being young and watching like, you know, US movies and stuff and falling into that, that's what it really is like. And then I moved to and realised it really is like that.
But that, in a way, that was like misleading you about life, the way that they worry that social media is misleading kids about life these days. So there's always a problem of the time, isn't there, you know? So.
Yeah, I do think there is a balance to be had there. I think we grew up without social media. Like the TV and films weren't quite as prevalent as social media. Like everyone's on their phones constantly all of the time. And if that's what you grow up with, that's all. all you know and you think that's right, you know.
But also, nobody ever, like, balance is such a hard thing because nobody defines what it is. And nobody knows when they're at the point where they've got enough balance. Like, no one knows what the measurements are. Like,
No,
is
the
it
measurement is how you feel. Yeah, if you are...
It is, but not everyone's in touch with their feelings or knows when they've reached that balance or have that level of control to recognize the balance, you know?
I think that if you cannot recognize that you are balanced, then you are not in balance. Because when everything is
but
in
there's
balance,
a lot of that out there,
feel
darling.
good. Like you feel better, like you feel more, I don't know, like in touch when you are in balance. And if you are not in balance, then you don't feel it. You do what I mean? Like,
I know, but a lot of people wouldn't be able to get in touch with that feeling at all, you know?
Of course they would. If you were in balance, you would. That's totally.
Yeah, but a lot of people wouldn't have that or know what it looked like or how it felt, you know?
But they would, because they would be in balance.
Well, true. But maybe they're just consistently miserable instead. which sounds fun, actually.
I think there's a lot of people who are very sadly consistently miserable, and that's a shame because there is a balance to be had, and life is for living.
Yeah, because I think that's a self-fulfilling prophecy a lot of the time, because you just fill yourself with negative energy, which means that negative things then continue to happen.
Exactly.
And how these people never see through that, I don't know. It's just mad. Yeah.
It's true. Like it's about what you call in. The more negative you are, the more negativity you will receive and experience, and that's just how it is.
I've seen this time after time. Yeah.
So today we're going to be really positive.
So deep, so quick.
Yeah, I know. What just happened? Like spring is coming, Michael. We're going to be positive.
Do you know what? You know that when everyone's always ready for January the 1st and all of that, then resolutions, blah, 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 blah. I think they should really shift the year and make it start on the 1st of February. Do you know what I mean? Because that is a much better time to have a fresh start, because that's the time when, you know, snowdrops are coming out, bulbs are pushing through. It really does feel like spring is like in the near distance, whereas January is just a nothing. Do you know what I mean?
It's a nothing month. You're like who
I
made
think
up
it should
January?
be deleted from the calendar. But it is
made up January.
And that is not the best time to make any sort of resolution and all that jazz if you're into that. But it's just such a it's the most misguided thing in modern times, January.
The New Year's resolutions at the end of the day are mainly commercially driven now anyway, aren't they? Come to the gym for less money, or here's the new diet fad or whatever. It's just not sustainable. So let's erase January. Let's move on to February and
then of course we just had Blue Monday, which is really another marketing exercise as well.
Yeah.
Cheer yourself up on Blue Monday by ordering an Apple Watch or more.
Exactly. Well, we just put that to bed, haven't we? I have noticed quite a few snowdrops on Instagram recently, so they are obviously peeking up through the soil.
Do you not have them where you're from?
I haven't seen any snowdrops yet, but yes, we do. But I haven't seen any yet at all. Anywhere.
I saw some at Kew the other day.
Cute.
Yes, but of course, a lot of people have been seeing them since October, because you don't. Oh my God, I got to talk about this thing, but also another thing linked to that thing. You know, when people see snowdrops in October and they don't actually know there is an autumn flowering species or two, and then they're like, "Oh, global warming."
So I saw a camellia one the same the other day, like with the autumn camellias, and I saw someone posting about the camellias coming out, and I was like, that is an autumn camellia. That is so
annoying. Like that people, and that just proves to me people love the drama of it sometimes, because they're like, oh, global warming. Because the other day, did you see a Marks and Spencer's food PR account on Instagram, which is ultimately better than their normal account, and they're launching like the white strawberries, and of course, like you and I have known white strawberries for years, but then by the time they get to a supermarket for the public to buy, it's often like many years down the line before they're in commercial quantities and harvested, blah blah. And everyone below the comments, oh my God, people are so dumb. They're like, oh, why can't they just leave food alone? Oh, GMO. Jesus, like white strawberries are perfectly natural, and like you meant, like if they saw purple carrots and then you would blow their mind by telling them that purple carrots are the original. It's like, I hate this thing where people just spouting off these comments when they really don't know what they're talking about.
I was literally going to mention the purple carrots. So purple carrots are obviously the original carrot. They are high in antioxidants. They are so good for you, so nutritious. Like I've grown them along with white strawberries, like you know as well. And I bought a bunch of carrots from the supermarket here, which were all the colours. So, you know, orange, yellow, white, purple.
There's such good bunches there in the US. They've always got those,
so good, like loads of organic stuff and not in packaging, so you get all of that. Anyway, I brought the big bunch home, and my husband genuinely said, "What are they?" And I was like,
"Really?
They are carrots."
How uneducated, Ellen! All those years, and you haven't even educated him on carrots.
I know. I was mortified, completely mortified. I was like, "No, this is the original color carrot." And he was like, "I had no idea." So you know,
but it's funny how limited people's knowledge of you know, different foods are and variations of food. Yeah, it's mad.
But also, it's really good that supermarkets are bringing in kind of like different fruit and veg, because that will expand people's minds. You know, and some of those white strawberries are so tasty. The ones that are like pineapple-y as well, so good.
Yeah, totally.
And if you grow them, because they're white, birds don't think they've ripened, so they're less likely to get eaten.
A red herring. But I have to say, you talk about vegetables in America, and I remember from when I was in New York that it's such a, is it oxymoron or dichotomy? I don't know which one, but like you kind of have this real impression of American food, but then actually you step in a supermarket and the fruit and veg section is streets apart from the UK fruit and veg section, isn't it? And I was always so impressed with the range of stuff, the quality of the stuff, and indeed what you just said about the lack of plastic as well. And this was even a few years ago for me now that I was seeing this in the supermarkets.
Yeah, I think you can go either way. So it depends on what supermarket you go to. But almost all of them will have like a load of fruit and veg in packaging, and sometimes double packed, which is even more annoying. But then there's also masses of organic, fresh, unpackaged stuff. So if you take those off the shelf rather than all the packaged stuff, you are good. And inevitably it will taste better as well. And also, like, you have to think the growing conditions across the US are, you know, there's different conditions east to west. There's a ton of stuff that's grown in California, and so shipping maybe isn't quite as far, you know, as coming from Europe or Asia or wherever over to the UK. So I think there's a better supply of fruit and veg.
I remember just such a nice range. So comprehensive.
Yeah, there's so much. And also the fruit is really awesome. Like all the different kinds of fruit that you can get here, you know, passion fruits and like horned melons. And you get the big strips of like even aloe vera. And they're just in the supermarket, and that's really cool. But that's because of the environment.
Oh, and the pads. Have you ever bought the pads and cooked with them? You know, the cactus pads.
The cactus pads?
You know, like the puntia, the big prickly pear pads.
Oh, yeah, the actual fruit, but not the pad.
The leaf, Yeah,
no, I've never seen them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you just slice it up like French beans. And you can use different salad. Oh, you should do this. That would be cool. I've not seen
them here, but I bet you probably can. And some of the maybe more west, but I haven't seen them here. But I get the fruits. So the prickly pear fruits are readily available here as well, which is really cool. And I also find like the health food stores have a wider variety of stuff as well. But that's
cool.
Yeah, there is one thing though I will just say about some of the veg, especially that's packaged and not organic. Pesticide usage here is far more prevalent than in the UK. And you can use like different stuff here than you can in the UK. And so if you're buying something that's not organic, you have no idea what you are eating. So I don't do any of that at all. But I quite like shopping for fruit and veg here. And cool. I'm not a shopper. I don't really like shopping at all. But the fruit and veg is cool.
Yeah. Well, I've really, like the last week or so, I've really, not that I ever eat that bad, but I've just really concentrated and eaten really well the last week or so. And I know it's not up your boulevard, Ellen Mary, but like seafood and kind of fish, I've really kind of, I feel like inspired by Iceland with that, to be honest. But also like kind of just veg and just really, and it's just, it's so funny because when you get busy and like it's difficult when you travel and you end up just eating this and that and it feels all right, but then when you eat really well you realize how well you do feel, if you know what I mean.
It makes a difference. And you were saying about fish and stuff, like I think one of the best diets generally most scientists agree on is the Mediterranean diet, which is obviously wholly plant forward but with the addition of fish and white meat. And I don't eat it because I have my own reasons for not eating it. I don't think it's a good thing for the planet or whatever. But if you look at it as a whole diet and compare that to other diets, the Mediterranean diet is meant to be the best. And then you look at like the blue zones, where they say that the communities of blue zone areas live the longest in the whole world.
Okay.
And if you look up blue zone, and it will tell you all blue zone food, so things like blueberries and salads, that kind of thing. And,
really?
And
I don't know about this.
There's a really good book as well. I actually think the book is called Blue Zones, so you have to just check that. But there's been a whole lot of research, and they found that communities that eat a particularly high, kind of similar to like a Mediterranean style diet, tend to live the longest, and they are also the happiest. So that's why perhaps you feel good. Like
that's very cool.
Since I've cut out meat and dairy, especially, I just have abundance of energy. Genuinely, I never feel tired in the day. Obviously, you get tired at night, but I have more energy now in my 40s than I did in my 20s.
That's cool.
So it does make a difference.
Well, I was following part of the advice on my epigenetics test that I've obviously bored you with quite often recently, where I spat in the tube and got this, and this, and I'm waiting for the results of my microbiome test where I pooped into a napkin and
we heard all about it. Thank you.
So I'm very excited about all of that because I think it's that awareness that really kind of helps, doesn't it? Really, so. Yeah.
And also, when you get a little bit older, as dare I say we are in our 40s,
oh my God.
You do become very aware, I think, of your health and perhaps your mortality, and you want to do as much as you can to feel really good. Like, I always think that if you get poorly with any kind of disease or virus or whatever, I always think perhaps that might happen for whatever reason, but I think if you can tell yourself and be assured that you have done everything you could possibly do, then there's no regret. So I think if you say, for example, you had something really awful like cancer, but you've eaten a diet your whole life, or you've smoked a lot, and this is I'm not being judgmental here at all.
Where are we going with this?
But you could that might be why, but I always think that if you are eating healthy and doing all of the right things, you can at least, if you got to that point and something terrible did happen, say, I tried my best. I done what I could do.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Well,
that's where I was going with it. We had way too deep conversations today. Let's talk about books instead, because we mentioned the Blue Zone book.
Oh, but this is another deep one.
It is a bit. Oh, and there's another book I must tell you about on that thing that I think you would love. It's called How Not to Die. And it's all about all the different foods and things. It's a really, really good book. Anyway, so books. My book is out in the US today.
Oh,
I'm very excited about that.
Are you having a party?
No, but my book is in Target, and I never really thought that my book would be for sale in Target.
Really? Oh, you're such a snob.
No, I think it's amazing.
No, I'm not.
I think I'm being snobby. What I'm saying is, I never imagined in my wildest dreams I would ever have a book for sale in somewhere like Target in America. I never imagined
because you
that.
were being snobby about it. Yeah, I get it.
It's not snobby. Oh my God! Don't twist it to be something it's not.
Ellen, congratulations on the book, but also one of our very good friends posed a very interesting question in the Garden Media group this week, and he said, I need to word it right now, but basically, these days, if you're reviewing a book, for someone within the horticultural sphere, how honest can you be? Because of course it's quite a tight-knit community, and If you don't like it, then, well, if you refuse to review it or you turn it down, then that means you probably didn't like it, or maybe you're going to say something that is derogatory, which isn't going to be good, for the book, or like someone's probably then going to think bad of you that you did that, even though you're being honest. But also you have to review it in a really neutral way and not your personal opinion as well. So in that kind of guise, I think it takes someone with a lot of experience to review a book as well. So yeah, it's kind of it was a really thought-provoking question, actually, because someone else actually said, when it comes to restaurants, like restaurant critics, that really is quite a snake pit, and people are very honest, and but for good reason. And this is probably then you respect those opinions a lot more. But horticultural world certainly doesn't have that kind of restaurant critic kind of landscape. But yeah, it was a really interesting question, and I feel that if I'm asked to review something, then I feel like you almost feel like you need to find something good to say about it, even if you don't think lots of good things, if you know what I mean. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's tricky, but I think the key point to what you just said is having experience with doing it and writing about it, because I do a lot of writing. That's what I do most of the day. And you have to remove your personal feeling or judgment. And remember,
you almost need to not know who's written it, almost.
You need to be entirely neutral, because a book that you personally don't like, someone else might love. That's why there's squillions of books in the world. It's like art. You see some art and one person will say, oh, I absolutely love that. Another person will go, what on earth is that? It's the same thing. So when you're reviewing a book, I think that it is only fair to the people who are reading your review for you to be honest, but it's how you word it. If you are writing reviews and you are basically saying that every single book you read is amazing, then that's no review, and it's not fair on your readers.
That's more of an advert, isn't it, really?
Yeah, exactly.
In that instance, yeah.
What you could do, I think, if it's a book that you don't really think is very good personally, is remove your personal judgment, but choose your words wisely. Like if there's a book that you love and you're writing, I really enjoyed this book, I thought it was really amazing, it's so well written, don't write that about a book that you didn't like. Just say, it's structured like this and the photographs are like this.
Just be very neutral and explain it, I guess.
About it. Like say what it's about rather than saying if you love it or don't love it. So I think that comes with a bit of experience for sure. And but I think that anyone who reviews anything, products, books, services, whatever, you have you have a responsibility to not mislead your audience, So I think you have to be honest, but you have to be honest with a bit of neutrality, not just not being a restaurant critic basically and being really mean, but just
but also
that's how I see it.
Yeah, but also people need to be grown up, and maybe we can't all be nice to each other all the time if we're going to be honest as well. Do you know what I mean? And that's where having a close-knit community then doesn't help, because then you're not then really going to be constructive / supportive to each other. And there was actually sorry, go on.
As you know, like when you write a book, you have to be prepared to have a negative review. You have to know that it's not going to meet everybody's requirements and not everyone is going to enjoy it. You have to accept that. And that's constructive. Like if someone who's reviewing it is constructively reviewing it, you have to, take that on board really, or don't brush it off and move on. But you're right. I think there's no room for being nasty at all. Like, there's no need for that. Just be more neutral.
Totally. Well, funnily enough, I actually had somebody highlighted a review to me of my book by on a website, Botany One, which is run by a guy called Nigel Chaffee. And when you read it, I can send it to you. It is a really good review because it's very balanced. There is stuff that he says that he doesn't necessarily think should be the way it is, but he said it in a really kind of friendly and kind of open way. It's really kind of, you come out of it just feeling constructive and you don't feel like someone's kind of dirtily critiquing it. Right. But I also feel like there are things that I can then improve on in there, but I don't feel aggrieved about that because he's been really nice and constructive about it. So it's really, it's almost like a blueprint for a good review, I would say. Yeah.
So that sounds like someone who has experience in reviewing books and writing.
And looking through his website, he's reviewed a lot of books, and I think that is, he is very experienced with it, and it makes really a big difference. Big difference.
Yeah. And also you have to remember that for anybody who's written a book, it's a really big task, and people put their heart and soul and a lot of time into it. So you don't want to be rude or mean about it.
No.
It's okay if you don't like it or you don't think it's a great book. That's okay. Just choose your words nicely.
I guess, like what you just said, it's really hard to take emotion out of it when you have spent so much time. But then just because you spent so much time and you feel emotional about it, doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to take back some feedback that could improve it in the future. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. What was that?
So many sensible things today. We're going to explode.
I feel unsure what's going on. Like, what's happened to us?
We're definitely going to combust.
So,
oh my God.
Let's just have a little chat before we finish up today about spring bulbs. I'm going to tell you about the current state of my balcony to begin with. I want you to tell me about your garden as well.
All right, darling.
We had some really, really cold weather here. Like, it was an unprecedented cold few weeks where wind chill was like -17. We were down to -13s overnight, which has not been experienced here before. And I have a ton of containers on the balcony, and with many plants that really should survive cold weather, but maybe not -13. And I wrapped some up triple fleeced, like even more, like wrap. And then others I didn't have any more fleece left, and I just thought, what will be, will be. And almost all of them died. Even the ones wrapped in fleece, that's how cold it was. So my balcony is now looking shockingly awful, probably the worst it's ever been. But how exciting is it, genuinely, to see the bulbs popping up, because all the bulbs survived.
Oh, definitely. But do you know what? Talking about the cold, I think it really is... it kind of came by surprise, especially in the UK, and I think that's kind of what shocked not just us, but also the plants. But I've started to buy just the little, when you can buy little pots of hyacinths and this and that, and just have them inside, and it's just like so nice when that kind of season starts. I really think spring is my favorite season. It really is, because I don't know, the array of stuff and just the way the light is, the different colors of the bulbs, and it's kind of like almost like a sweet shop of colors, and because you've got bright blue hyacinths, bright yellow daffodils. It's like kind of almost like juvenile colors, but it's just lovely. It's like
a primary palette, isn't it, of color? And also I think it's because we've waited so long over winter that when the color comes, it feels even more vibrant, because we've been like, it's been so dreary all winter.
But it isn't. When you kind of break it down, it's kind of really, it's that November, December, January that they just need to delete, really. At the very least January, because at least November, December, even though I'm not a Christmas fan, you've got a kind of focus that you're running up to.
Yeah.
But then January's then just in the way. I'm going to write a letter to the government about this, actually.
Okay, sure.
Do you know what we should do? We should start an online petition, because they have to discuss them. They have to discuss them if you get more than 100,000 or something. Yeah.
You made the months up anyway. I was having this conversation with my hubby a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about time and what that means, because time is made up, time is made up.
I often think about things like this.
Years are made up, months are made up, weeks are made up, days are made up, and then the 8-hour working day is made up. It's all made up. Like, none of it is real. So I genuinely think we can scrap January, because it's not real anyway. It's just not a thing.
And who decided it all, and the fact that it then continued that way, and the fact that no one's ever challenged it, and it's really bizarre.
Exactly.
What's I going to say linked to that? I don't know now. Oh yeah, well, just petitions, online petitions. I felt really strongly that Dua Lipa should cover a certain song a few years ago, and I tried to start an online petition, but I didn't get enough signatures to get them to discuss it in Parliament, but it would have been so cool.
Need like 100,000 signatures.
I know.
Right? Sorry, I'm just going to rewind. You started an online petition to get Dua Lipa to cover a song.
Yeah. Mr. Friday Night by Lisa Moorish. Yeah, she would have done a brilliant job with that song, honestly. It's right up her boulevard.
Why did you not just write to Dua Lipa? You could have just written directly to her and given her the suggestion.
She doesn't seem the type to read her DMs. That's the thing, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's hilariously weird.
Yeah, so anyway.
Thanks,
so that's my news.
Oh, we have some fun, don't we?
Is that what you call it?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a bit mean, but I'm just thinking about what's coming up on the podcast over the coming week.
To the cast. I hope people enjoyed our lovely interview with Cheryl last week.
Yeah, rare.
That was cool. And such a different subject as well. That's what I really enjoyed about it.
Yeah. Investing in houseplants. The only thing I keep thinking is, and I can't get over, I don't think I can buy a plant that costs loads of money and is really rare because I don't know if
I'm good enough at growing to do that. I don't know. I won't necessarily say that. I don't know if I'm attentive enough at growing, you know?
Yeah. I'm not around enough in either place, I don't think, to have a rare house plant. But we've got Hayley coming up. We're talking about insects, which is, it was really, really good chat.
Yes.
It was really fun. So
and she was really cool to get on with as well.
Yeah, it was awesome. She was really lovely, knows loads of things. We were talking about slugs and other insects and stuff for the garden. So that's a really interesting one to come up. And then we've got, who have we got? We've got Megan, Carnivorous Plants, coming up, haven't we? She's a young grower but with a passion for growing carnivorous plants, which is really cool. So yeah, we've got quite a few. With Chris Young as well, who talking about his portfolio career in horticulture, like as a publisher and landscape designer and all kinds of things. It's really cool. And then we're also going to be talking to Becky Mealy from the RHS all about RHS advice service. But I cannot wait to find out what the most popular questions are and what questions they get that are kind of fun, if you like. I'm not going to say silly.
That you bagged that one.
Oh, thank you, Will.
That's really cool.
I'm really happy that we've bagged the interviews that we do. But yeah, so it's shaping up to be an awesome series. And obviously our contributors for this series are North Lodge, which is the gardener Ben, and Parker's Patch as well, which she's absolutely cool, Juliet, and Worcester Terrariums and Urban Herbs. So a patch series, which is very cool.
Wonder Crump. Sorry, I was distracted. I just noticed that Madonna's doing the Greatest Hits tour.
I was just going to say, I think at this point we're going to finish the gossip because Michael's now bored of hearing my voice. Yeah. Okay, fine.
No, it's on Saturday the 14th of October. Wow. Set a reminder. Anyway,
Madonna. Madonna is bonkers. Like, I've seen her TikTok. Like, what is she on?
Yeah,
she is on something.
I don't know.
Anyway,
cool.
All right, lovely chatting with you as always.
You too, darling.
Happy gardening.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Brought to you with Lava Light. Derived from volcanic deposits, Lava Light can help you to nourish and protect your plants all year round. The collection comprises of 8 different horticultural growing media and pest control products. Look out for their colourful packs either online and in your local gardening stores.
The music for the Plant-Based podcast is part of the song Grow by Mikey James, and our editor is Gareth Patch of Semi Echo.